And we're back on the Hella Clout show, and today we have a special guest, Ashton Howard, in the building.
Yes.
How you doing, LA? What's up, man? How you doing?
Welcome to the Hella Clout show.
Good to be here,
And
man.
thank you for bringing us a bunch of dope, unreleased music. That right there was Richie Bucks, right?
It's the only way to do it. Richie
And you
Bucks,
said you
baby.
sent me a whole folder of unreleased stuff, so
Man,
you can
check
look.
them out. Check them out. I had you a whole thing. No worries.
Right. So, Ashton, it's good to meet you, and welcome to the show.
Bro. Thank you.
And explain to the viewers what you do and your role, and kind of how you're playing the whole music industry here.
Okay. So, most notably, I'm probably known for my work with Audiomack and Elevator Magazine, which Elevator Magazine is, I'd probably say, one of the premier hip hop publications out right now as far as underground guys go. So
Definitely.
for them, I handle a lot of work as far as R&B goes. I cover a lot of soul artists. I try to stay away from, I mean, not stay away, but I try to cover more. Elevator's more known for the SoundCloud rapper type of vibe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got there, I tried to kind of bring the vibe a little bit towards kind of balancing out the power.
I love
So that's what I do
that.
for Elevator. And then I work for Audiomack, which I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Yep.
Audiomack for the fans. It's a free streaming service, something similar to SoundCloud, where you can upload your music for free. You can listen to music for free, and you can actually, now we have a beta program where you can get paid for your streams.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm an ambassador for them. I do the Hometown Heroes playlist for Las Vegas, where we highlight the best artists in Las Vegas and stuff like that. So my role in the industry is just, trying to highlight the person that feels like they're not being seen. And it's not because you're not being seen, 'cause you're not doing the right things, but it's just you're not being seen because you're just, sometimes it's tough to be seen. You know?
Yeah, it is.
How did you get into the industry?
It's funny. Originally, I used to rap, so I used to make music.
Okay.
And I don't even kind of know how it happened. It was kind of fast. Like when I rapped.
Do you still rap?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
No, I found my niche. So when I rapped, I kind of got in contact with some publications, and I always was really into reading and writing. Literature is my shit. I know that sounds very nerdy, but
I'm the same.
since I was in high school, I was always very into reading and writing. I mean, when I was in high school, I thought I was gonna have the first blog that focused on music, sports, all that. I thought I was gonna, everybody has that idea.
Best idea ever.
The
No
best
one's gonna
idea
do it.
ever.
Everything all in one site.
Everything.
It's like World Star meets ESPN.
Once you finally do some shit like that, you're like, wow, it's too much. Like,
it's a lot
You
of
really
work.
gotta double down on one of your strengths.
Yeah, it
So
is.
through that and through rapping, I kind of just started meeting people. Eventually, I realized that I wasn't the rapper I thought I was, but I was a very talented writer.
Okay.
And so I just started, I've always been very self-critical. So I just went to the things that I felt I was best at, and I just attacked those ideas. So people really trusted me with my ear. People trusted my ear, and they trusted my word.
Okay.
So I attacked those two avenues, and that's kind of how I got into what I was doing now. I worked for Respect Magazine at first.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny because they had internships going, and I lied and said I was attending university. What is it? It's the Riverside College. I forget. I was
RCC?
RCC? No, not RCC, the university.
Oh, UCR.
See, that's how I was good then. I'm not good now. Yeah. So
It's like I'm at Harvard,
no,
but I'm willing to take this internship right
my
now.
family
If you
lives
throw
in
them away.
Fontana, so I'm big.
Oh, I'm from Fontana too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
my family, I live in Las Vegas now, but my family, Fontana, Marina Valley, is a big part of my life.
Represent
so, where
Fontana.
My man that's from, you know what I'm saying?
the
So,
F.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
deep today. Okay.
So when I hit Respect Magazine up and said UCR, I have a.
Do they know that now?
Now they know, and I
Like,
I
you
remember my
little
editor
hustler, you.
My editor hit me up and she was like, "Hey man, you're writing a lot of articles, and I just want to ask you, like, are you going to class?" And I was like, "What?" Oh no!
Like, how do you have time for this?
Yeah, like,
So
what
in
class? Like
class.
what? I'm not. I gotta go to work. Like I
Wait,
work at Chipotle. I don't
right.
know what class. So, like, you know what
I
I'm
gotta
saying?
flip
Like,
these burritos.
yeah,
Big
like,
bags.
that's kind of how. So that's. I mean, just
Facts.
Did you work at
Finesse.
Chipotle at the time?
dead ass. Yo, I worked at Chipotle at the time.
Nice.
That was my Chipotle, and working for Wick were my last two official jobs
what?
before I
Wick?
got into the industry. Yeah, I worked for Wick
What?
for about a year. Yeah.
That's
Shout out
crazy.
to all the mothers out there
Yeah.
making it happen. You know?
That's inspiring, though.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like, I'm not saying that people should go out there and lie to get the gig, but if you're
Sometimes
determined,
you gotta
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The music industry is one of the, it's one of the most least honest industries in the world.
Right.
So,
Talk about it.
you know what I'm
Hate to
saying?
say it,
If
but
you
it's
can
true,
be
folks.
thorough, but you have to also do things to get what you gotta do. Do what you
Yeah.
gotta do. You know, it's
What's best for you?
You know, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming from being a good writer and a rapper originally, at what point were you like, yo, does your writing affect your rapping? Like I picture you having great lyrics because you're a good writer. You know what I'm saying? So at what point were you like, yo, I'm gonna stick to writing, not raps, but writing like articles and blogs and stuff?
When I found my voice in blogs. So it's like now when I write my blogs and I do things like that, I don't know if other writers have this. I've talked to some and some of them do, or maybe they don't. I have a formula. So it's like I have a formula for how I write about every single artist. Doesn't matter if you make country music, rap music, rock music, soul music. Doesn't matter. I have a formula.
So
I know what I'm gonna do in the first paragraph. I know what I'm gonna do in the second paragraph. I know how I'm gonna close the article out.
Yeah.
And the content's just gonna change every time. So for me, I started to get so good at establishing my voice and writing that I just started playing with words in my articles. So I started putting little nursery rhymes in my articles. I started rhyming. I started putting little quintuplets, things like that. I used to write poetry. So for me, I just started
So it's different than the average writer. And people are like, I think people are more like receptive to that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that shit actually rhymed. Did he mean to do that? Or
I didn't think anybody noticed at first, but then, some of my friends friends and rappers that I was writing about, they would start to comment. They'd be like, hey man, like, that was a bar.
Third sentence down. I'm like, can I use that on my next record or what?
What's going on, bro? That was a bar. Like, so that's when that
How
happened.
creative. I like that.
Yeah, just trying to play with it because I write about upwards of 15 and 20 articles a day.
What?
So
Still?
Yeah, still to
How
this
long
day.
does that take you?
It's a little secret and it's a little exclusive. I write off my phone. I don't get on my computer.
Right, what, on notes or what?
No, I just
text message.
I have WordPress app on my phone.
Okay.
And I have every single blog that I write for.
So you just
and I just do it. I get up.
Or do you ever do speech to text?
Huh?
Do you ever use
I do it all through
Right.
I'm about to be 24 in March. I grew up in the era where texting is everything.
Right, Twitter
I don't
fingers.
even call my dad. That's my father, right? He'll tell you. Like I text him through for everything.
By the way, we got
He'll call me,
Howard
be like,
Senior in the
I'm
building.
like, yo, what's up? Like I don't get on the phone unless you got a PayPal. Like
Right.
Like,
You asked me for some money.
Yeah,
like,
what you need to talk about?
Yeah, like what is there? Like the only person in this world that I probably say that like I don't own like that gets the phone call past my Grammy, and that's because she doesn't really understand how like she just won't talk to me. She'll be like,
what's the point even in calling a writer when the man writes for a living?
Right,
You know,
and my father understands that. My friends understand.
Right.
My Grammy, she's like, fuck it, we just won't talk. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? I
Right,
can't,
like, that's
can't have
Grammy.
that.
I hit
Yeah,
Ashton
can't
with a
have
hi. He hits me back with a book. I'm like, okay.
that. No, seriously.
That's dope though. I like your approach to the industry as a writer.
Try and make things creative because right now, you have this videotape. Video is everything. Content, video content is everything. So I'm working in a dying industry, and I know that. I'm very conscious of that.
Yeah.
So
as a writer, dying industry?
for sure. I mean, magazines are about dead. Other than The Land, go get your copy.
Right.
But The Land. I mean, but magazines are dying. Newspapers are
Right. Because I
almost
remember
on
I used
the
to
way
pick
out.
up the Source all the time back in the day.
Yeah, like a copy, physical
at the
copy.
Well, even if I
flew
couldn't
in
afford it,
today.
I'll go to the library and flip through it.
Man, I flew in today. I went to the airport and like I'm going to the Hudson News or whatever where they have the magazines. There's no hip hop magazines. There's nothing.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, what happened to like XXL?
There's no XXL. If you find that now, it's almost like an artifact.
Yeah.
Right.
Straight up. So it's
Damn,
like
I
I
remember
try to
cutting
find
pages
a-
out and making collages on my
Yeah.
wall. I'm like,
10
yo,
years
the
from
new
now,
Nas
it's
is
gonna be
coming
important.
out.
Yeah.
I should have kept all those
Keeping
magazines.
it. You got to keep it in a couple years. That's going to be
collector's
worth
items.
something.
Well, I mean, it's
yeah.
probably long gone by now. I might find a few in there, but
No, I collect. I roll my weed every day on a Source magazine cover. Every day on a Source magazine cover where it's Dame Dash and Cameron, and it says The Rock is over.
That's dope.
man,
And
that's
then
huge.
also, right, I have the wherever I'm feeling. Jay-Z's my favorite rapper of all time. If ever I'm like, you know what, Dame, not feeling you today. I have the Rockefeller.
you know,
I
Dame
have
lives
also-
out here.
That's my idol, man. That's my guy.
I bet you'll meet him.
I'm working
I met
towards
him
it. I want it to be the right
coincidentally,
situation.
randomly.
Yeah, he's that dude right there. I mean, I played basketball growing up, and so for me, with my dad growing up, a lot of it was like, hey, watch tapes, study people that were before you,
Right.
The ones that are better than you.
Soak it up.
So I mean, when I got into music, everything Dame Dash. I mean, I have little collectibles. I bet you guys don't even know that he has excerpts in a book. I have that book. Like it's just like
Wow.
everything
Crazy, yeah.
that Dame Dash has touched at this point, I've at least watched or consumed. Because
Dame, come holler at my man.
Man,
Ashton
period.
Howard
Like
right
that.
now. You got a real one.
Pull
that's
up.
somebody
Out
who,
here.
and I recognize his mistakes as well. So
Right.
like I understand.
Yeah, that's
like,
good.
You know, you see my father. I'm half black, half white. So I understand that a lot of the reasons why Dame was going into certain offices and stuff and yelling and being whatever. You know, his skin color was a big part of that. Like you can't just go in there and doing whatever. Look, I've had the luxury of my whole life of until you see my dad, you may not even know I'm black.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can act out, do whatever I want. but I could also come back to the point to where it's like I'm doing this for us. Like I'm not doing like I don't have a great relationship with my mother who's white. This is my dad, so like I only know my
shout out to Ashton Howard
shout
Senior.
Out to
no, single fathers don't get enough credit.
Yeah,
so I
for
want to
real.
make a shout
Speaking
out.
of the sweatshirt, Daddy, are you a dad? Do you have kids?
No, I'm actually
or is
not
this
a father.
just shout out to pops?
It's just a nickname,
It's
huh?
just so what it was is I have a friend.
They call me Daddy out here in these streets. Get it right.
Shout out to Leon St. Huron, man. I have a friend in San Diego who did a collaboration with Champion, and I'm big about wearing my friends' clothes. I
love that.
I try not to, pay $300 for Supreme sweaters and shit. I try to wear my friends' stuff.
Homies.
So I mean, the shirt under it also says Daddy as well.
Okay, Poppy.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm represent. I try to, represent
I
my
need to
friends.
come get me
and
some
stuff.
Daddy.
That's dope. That's a
Yeah,
dope
he got the
collab.
collaboration
So
with
that's
Champion.
the brand. It's called Daddy. And
No, he does different stuff. So actually
that's an official Champion collab.
Oh, official. And then
That's
this was the January collab. So for February, he did a collab where it's for Black History Month, and he actually did something where he had forget the runner he had on there, but it's on the caption is "Run Black Man Run," and it's got somebody running, and he has a whole line of he's got shirts, shorts, everything.
Dope.
He kills it, man. He's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It's called Daddy, right?
Yeah, it's called Daddy. Yeah.
Shout out to
All
Daddy.
right.
Yeah.
So
That's
how
what
did
she
you
said.
explain your work with IPMG?
Okay.
And what IPMG is?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so IPMG started off as Industry Plant Music Group. Industry Plant Management Group, and it was where I was essentially getting the best artists that I felt were doing things out of Las Vegas, and I was just taking them under my wing and making sure that shit didn't go wrong.
So were you living in Vegas at the time?
I still live in Vegas.
Okay,
That's
I didn't
where
know.
flew from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I still
So
live
you
in Vegas.
flew here for the show.
That, and I'll be here for a couple. I have another interview.
We don't
after
care about
this.
that. It's the Hella Clout show.
Oh, my bad. I flew here for the show. I flew here for the Hella Clout show. You're right.
My
My
bad.
bad.
Shout out to Ashton. That's a real one
My
right
bad.
there.
Cut
No,
that part out.
So go on. Sorry.
IPMG, yeah. So it's me and it's my business partner Kiari Cook, who moonlights as Big Homie Stone, which was the first artist that I ever managed officially. So I started working with a guy who ended up signing with Made in Tokyo in San Diego when I lived there. Rossi Rock. I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but I managed Rossi for a little bit. Got signed. I got a taste of the music industry, and when I went back home to Vegas after San Diego, I was in San Diego in a very tumultuous relationship that just didn't go right. So when I left San Diego, I left really sad, and I went back home not feeling very confident.
What part of San Diego?
La Mesa. I was saying La Mesa, the Lemon Grove area. Yeah. Rob Stone actually was why I was living in San Diego. That's probably how I got started in the industry the most. I was covering Rob Stone's Ascension for Respect Magazine.
Oh wow!
So the fight he had, the Chill Bill. I found Chill Bill when it was about maybe I think there was maybe 10,000 plays on it.
That's actually what inspired her Instagram name, Killjoy. It's like Chill Bill.
Yo, Rob's the
I'm just playing.
Yeah,
I was like, yo.
I'm like, that's a lot of credit, but
No, but then so I moved back home, and Stone asked me, if I could manage him, and I wasn't ready yet. I just didn't feel like I was personally ready, and then eventually he played me his album, and it was so good. It was really good that I just didn't want nothing. I just didn't want it to come out and me not have a part of it. So I just really immersed myself in the process of making sure it was promoted. We went on a tour and all that. And I remember we did an interview actually at Dash. Our first interview for him was at Dash for Rosecrans Radio.
And here you are now.
Yeah,
Vic.
that.
Yeah, it was funny. Vic is my super homie, man.
Right.
Rosecrans Radio is family. So we came here for that. And it was the first time he looked at me and was like, "Yeah, it's my manager." And I was like, "Okay, I manage. Okay, I'm an artist."
So he just said it.
He's just like, he's my manager. It's like a week later, we went through something where he called me his best friend on the radio, and I was like, "Bet I'm your best friend." Like it was just like,
I'm just
man
whatever
Ash is
you
like,
want to call it.
yeah, I was like, I never.
And he's popping at this point.
That's
too.
respect.
Yeah, so I'm like, bet. So
I'll take it.
From there, him and I
Yeah.
became 50-50 partners
He
into
slid the
Industry
contract
Plant.
in and was like, "Let's do
Industry Plant
this."
Media Group, and him and I came with Industry Plant because he was doing a lot of things where people were like, "Why are you getting these opportunities? You're getting it because your manager works for these places. You're an
Right.
Industry Plant." So we were like, "I like that." So we created Industry Plant Media Group and the reason we changed it from music to media is because we're doing a whole lot of stuff. So I do a lot of PR work. I work for a lot of other artists and stuff like that, just so we can keep everything under the same umbrella.
Right.
But we mainly manage about 7 to 8 artists now who are doing some good work, and we've gotten some label interest for joint ventures, stuff like that. Just kind of keeping our Alamo's one of them. It's funny, but we're just kind of keeping our base and just trying to figure it out. But I'd say the 7 or 8 best artists you could even think of coming out of Las Vegas, I have a hand in everything they're doing.
Okay.
Who are some of these artists?
We got Big Homie Stone. We have Richie Bucks, which we played Bonafide a little earlier. We have Mikey PX, which he just debuted his last video on No Jumper, which is about, I think, 50,000 plays now in about a month. BB Knight, which, I mean, we just debuted his single with Juice WRLD.
Oh, okay.
And that's about
dope.
it was an Audio Mac exclusive. We're at about 200,000 plays on Audio Mac now.
Oh.
So, and then we have some other guys that we're working with as well. Shout out Bennett, shout out Impact, a bunch of other guys. But we just have a really good set of talent. And for me, it was more about talent than it was about numbers, because a lot of A&Rs right now, and I don't mean to be an asshole, but a lot of you A&Rs, man, for you it's an aggregate game. You look at what their Twitter followers are, you look at what their Instagram, and you just pick up an average, a mean almost.
We talking to you.
You guys, you know, and like Sean's not one of them. Sean showed me some artists who's pretty dope, so I'm not talking about Sean, but a lot of these guys aren't looking at talent, they're looking at numbers, and that's why people like.
I think that's kind of like a confusion in the industry now.
Yeah, you know,
especially since social media's popped off.
tough.
And a lot of these, like we have these Instagram influencers that are
Supreme
turning rappers now.
Supreme Patty got a deal. You know, and like
Damn.
that's no offense to Supreme Patty. Like I really respect his hustle, but you're not a rapper, man. And like,
So you really go after talent.
That's all I go after. I go after talent. I try to focus on what people have, and if you don't have the numbers, I feel like that's my job and what I do to help you get those numbers.
And so do you help these artists achieve those numbers?
For sure, yeah.
And how would you say you go about doing that?
Just by pretty much just making sure, like every day, whether I'm working for them or working for myself or working for others that aren't a part of IPMG, I'm communicating in the industry every day. So I don't work at Wick no more. I don't work at Chipotle no more. This is what I do 24/7.
I was hoping for the Chipotle coupons.
I wish I could. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm talking to people all day. So when I'm talking to somebody about their artist, it's a 50-minute conversation. Maybe 30 is of their artist, and maybe.
Wait, talking or texting?
Talking. Sometimes we're talking.
Actual phone calls with Ashton Howard.
Look, business.
You gotta be somebody if you actually getting on the phone with this money.
If there's money on the line, I'll pick up the phone. If there's just questions, we're gonna text. But it's just promotion, and just at this point, I've worked really hard to build a reputation for my word and for what I say about certain things. So certain colleagues that I have, if I tell them somebody's good, they'll take a listen and they'll be like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like enough times I've told them somebody's good that's actually good to where they'll believe it now.
Yeah.
I got a record here by Mikey PX called Against All Odds that you brought us. Let's get into
single.
this. Okay, and we're back. It's the Hella Clout Show. And we're in the building with Ashton Howard, y'all. And we're talking about all the artists that you work with. That one right there was Mikey PX. And where's he based out of Vegas?
Actually, he's based out of Vegas now. He's from Long Beach.
Okay.
He's from Long Beach. He originates from Long Beach. But I wanted to touch on something you said off the air.
Right.
So where you were like, you guys said you guys like to talk to movers and shakers behind the industry.
Right.
So one thing that IPMG is getting ready to do, we're partnering with some people in Las Vegas. It's be the first time I'm actually mentioning this, but publicly. We're starting a program where we're going to be going to different schools and stuff like that to let kids know about these different jobs in the industry.
That is so dope. I love that.
You know what
I'm
saying?
Like if rapping doesn't work for you, you could also still be in the music industry
or maybe you never
positions.
wanted to rap. Maybe you're very creative, and maybe you are a very good graphic designer who doesn't want to make cover art, and maybe you want to design the cool graphics that go behind a DJ when they're on stage at EDC.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't know that's a job.
You didn't.
You didn't know that's a job.
Yeah.
You didn't know tour managing was a job. You didn't know that. You didn't know how important an engineer was to making an artist.
Right. And actually, we shed a lot of light to engineers and producers because they are some of the most influential people that make this shit happen. And here you got a producer who's produced for. I mean, like I'll use a perfect example with Sap.
Right.
You know, and he produced for Mac Miller and Nipsey Hussle and like YG and all these different people.
Yeah.
But like we brought him on the show, but not many people knew who Sap was. I'm like, this dude's killing it.
But the thing is, he probably produced some of your favorite songs.
Exactly. And people don't know.
And that's why we like to shed light on people like that and yourself because you guys actually make an influence on the industry.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be
kids
like.
Don't know. They don't know that these jobs are out there. So that's what, I mean, it's not even just, I mean, to be completely honest, even what I'm doing, I kind of fell into what you might consider a glamorous job, managing stuff like that. But I mean, there's people we rely on when we go on tour that build stages for us, stuff like that, that are very unsung heroes. And it's actually a column that we're gonna be.
And they're on tour.
Yeah,
like, how tight is that?
Yeah,
that's
dope. And you're getting paid. You're also getting paid because Drake isn't Drake without the corporation around Drake.
Exactly.
I mean, even somebody as small as Rico Nasty isn't Rico Nasty without
her team.
Her team.
Yeah.
And Rico Nasty is the first person to tell you that.
Yeah, I do. I love her.
And the best artist. So I just want to let. That's something I want to shed light on as kids. Anybody who's listening to this, if you're to be honest, if you're listening to this, you probably already know what's up. But I mean, like, share this with your little brother, your little sister, whoever you have in your house. Who's like, I mean, I have a little sister who watches what I do in the industry, and she's always thinks that's cool, but she doesn't think writing is cool. So I'm trying to find something else to help her. You know
you made writing cool, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Single-handedly,
like to her, she's like, man, fuck out of here. Like I have to write essays at school, dude. Like,
I'm not in the mood for that.
Just because you like that shit doesn't mean I gotta like that shit. Like so, like but there's cool jobs, man.
Yeah, there's other things to do.
There's cool jobs.
That's cool. So IPMG might visit your school and let you know about.
Yeah, not might. We will be doing that pretty soon. Within the next, I'd say, before 2019 is over, we will be visiting high schools in Las Vegas. Hopefully, where we can go outside of Las Vegas, where we'll be talking to you guys and letting you guys know of the different jobs, almost like a career fair for the music industry.
Let's actually bring IPMG on the show.
Oh, definitely.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think that would be a cool show just to shine spotlight on that in itself, which is super
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that for sure. I mean, Stone was supposed to be here today. I almost tried to get that done today. It just didn't happen. But I mean, you were going to say something? What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, are you going to bring people that are in the industry doing stuff to the schools as well to talk?
Definitely. So actually on April 4th, I'll be speaking at something called the Music Entrepreneur Club. They're having a tour that's coming out to Las Vegas, and they're kind of doing what we were already talking about. They're already in the further steps of that. Check out Music Entrepreneurship Club. Okay. So they're coming to Vegas. We're going to be doing that, and I'm actually going to be going to a high school before I do that to give out free tickets. So that way they can come in and see what's going on. If you bring your report card and you show a certain GPA, you can come in and because you know what I'm saying, like you have to encourage good things. I mean, funny thing before we go today, I'm in LA, so it's like my girlfriend's brother, right? My girlfriend, her father's from Angola. Okay. So he lives in Switzerland now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he lives in Switzerland now. So his kids, her little brothers and stuff, they're from Switzerland. Her little brother followed me on Instagram today. First question he asked, "Are you my sister's boyfriend?" Yes. Second question he asked, my sister says, "You know Blueface." I said,
these kids.
I know Blueface is DJ. Shout out DJ Bugsy.
Can you give me a ticket to the show?
Yeah, Bugsy. Shout out Bugsy. So I know. So I'm like, so he's like, you know, I'm like, I know his people's man. I never met Blueface or whatever. He's like, look, and the language barrier. He speaks 5 languages, right?
Damn.
5 languages. Impressive. Smart kid, right? 5 languages. Bro tells me, and you could just tell he got American culture in his blood. All right. Well, when you see him, tell him something for me. I said, what's up? He said, tell him to holla at your boy. I said, where'd you even learn to talk like that in Switzerland, man? You know what I'm saying? So, no, and then to kind of speak on that, like I talked to my girlfriend about it, and he just recently, I'm sorry to embarrass you, little man, but he just got bad grades. He just got kicked off the basketball team. Or not kicked off, but he got suspended from the basketball team. You know what I'm saying? Good. Basketball's big in my life. My dad, I mean, the GPA to play in school was 2.0. My dad wouldn't let me play under a 3.0.
Oh, okay, that's a
for
real
me,
one.
It was always a big deal.
Yeah,
so
for real.
I Pops on the show too. Man, I love it.
Pops
man, that's
is
the
in
guy.
Cut.
So I told little bro Tyrese, I said, hey man, you get back on the squad, you get your grades back up. Right. I'll call Bugsy. I'll see what I can do. We'll get you a little Instagram shout out. You'll be popping in Switzerland. Right. You'll be the biggest thing in Switzerland ever. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say shout out Tyrese. Hopefully you listen.
Hey, get your grades up.
Man, you better get your grades
up, bro. That's a lifetime opportunity right there.
Big facts.
Shout out to my man Ashton.
Man, but thank you guys for real. Thank you.
Let the viewers know where they can find you on social media and also IPMG.
Definitely. So for me personally, you're gonna go to A20H. So that's A2020H. And for industry plant, you're gonna go to IPMG LV, and that's on every social media. Same social as Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You don't have to put in different ones. We have the same handle for everything. So please give us a follow. If you'd like to be a part of what we're doing, please give us a shout. Right. If you're an artist out there who feels like your talent is not being shown, I'm not managing anybody else right now. But tap in. I have PR services. I have services to make sure that shit is good for you. Tap in, stuff like that. Otherwise, keep grinding. Thank you guys.
Peace out. It's the Hella Clout Show. Shout out to IPMG. Call your principal. You can get IPMG at your school right now. Put you on game with this whole entertainment industry. Thank you, Joy, for coming on the show.
Yes.
Ashton Howard, congratulations on everything. Oh, real quick before you leave, I got to bless you with some weed from our sponsor. Please, these are sativa cartridges from Incognito.
Thank you.
And here is a hat for you, too.
Man, all right. I got some work to do this week. Some independent contractor work where I can't smoke weed during the day, so these might help, man.
Keep your head straight.
These might help. That's what I'm gonna say. It might save you some money. Shout out to Hella Clout
We'll see you
Show.
back here on the show. Dash
Definitely.
Radio.
IPMG's coming.
We out here.